This video is called The Historical Facts That Make the Satanic Communist Illuminati Conspiracy True Beyond Any Doubt. And I will pay $2,000 to anyone who can disprove my key points in this video. The Illuminati is a communist-style conspiracy. The communists knew the best way to win the war was to make people think that communist movements no longer exist, and that the ones that will remain should act as distractions, diversions, and misdirections. For example, in the Vietnam War, we left and operated behind the scenes, and they became capitalist over time. For the same reason, America is not officially communist, but it is slowly moving in that direction. Do not forget the Hegelian principle will be applied. But the conspiracy itself is a secret communist one that wishes to meet capitalism halfway, which ultimately means the same elite in charge with a more multicultural and socialist agenda. The merge of big business and the private sector with an emphasis on globalism, the abolishment of known major religions, are the principles of communism in essence. The principles of what things are, or what they are in essence, is key here. Because labels don't really matter. Principles do. Communism is the baby of Freemasonry, just like the Illuminati is. And in turn, these things turned around and infiltrated all levels of Freemasonry, just like Theosophy and Satanism have. This is the problem when mixing groups together. Certainly there becomes a secret doctrine within these groups or secret societies that becomes the dominant doctrine, because people conform, and there's always alpha males and prevalent groups of people within groups. See, McCarthy's progress was hindered by traitors to God and country. This is indeed a secret society, communist-style conspiracy. Now let's put it into context, shall we? Eisenhower's farewell address. Probably what saved his life was that he made this his farewell address. There was no point in killing him when he's going to leave anyway.
It commands our whole attention, absorbs our very beings. We face a hostile ideology, global in scope, atheistic in character, ruthless in purpose, and insidious in method.
So notice he describes it the same way as his predecessor, JFK. He says this is a ruthless ideology. It is atheistic. Atheism is not compatible with American values, or should I say, stated American values. One nation under God, not with the lack of God. However, it is entirely compatible with a Masonic agenda.
Unhappily, the danger it poses promises to be of indefinite duration. To meet it successfully, there is call for not so much the emotional and transitory sacrifices of crisis, but rather those which enable us to carry forward steadily, surely, and without complaint, the burdens of a prolonged and complex struggle with liberty the stake. Only thus shall we remain, despite every provocation, on our charted course toward permanent peace and human betterment. Crises there will continue to be. In meeting them, whether foreign or domestic, great or small, there is a recurring temptation to feel that some spectacular and costly action could become the miraculous solution to all current difficulties.
And of course, we see that with the massive military-industrial complex, the GMOs, and everything that is offered as a solution from the scientific community. Speaking of the scientific community,
Scientific research and discovery in respect, as we should, we must also be alert to the equal and opposite danger that public policy could itself become the captive of a scientific, technological elite.
and remember, Masonry is concerned with science and philosophy. So yes, the social policy becoming captive by a scientific elite is exactly what Masons are doing.
It is the task of statesmanship to mold, to balance, and to integrate these and other forces, new and old, within the principles of our democratic system, ever aiming toward the supreme goals of our free society. Another factor in maintaining balance involves the element of time. As we peer into society's future, we, you and I, and our government must avoid the impulse to live only for today, plundering for our own ease and convenience the precious resources of tomorrow. We cannot mortgage the material assets of our grandchildren without risking the loss also of their political and spiritual heritage. We want democracy to survive for all generations to come, not to become the insolvent phantom of tomorrow. During the long lane of the history yet to be written, America knows that this world of ours, ever growing smaller, must avoid becoming a community of dreadful fear and hate, and be instead a proud confederation of mutual trust and respect. Such a confederation must be one of equals. The weakest must come to the conference table with the same confidence as do we, protected as we are by our moral, economic, and military strength. That table, though scarred by many past frustrations, cannot be abandoned for the certainty agony of disarmament of the battlefield. Disarmament with mutual honor and confidence is a continuing imperative. Together we must learn how to compose differences, not with arms, but with intellect and decent purpose. Because this need is so sharp and apparent, I confess that I lay down my official responsibilities in this field with a definite sense of disappointment.
So he's saying that we need to stay true to our morals, and that he's very disappointed with the direction of the nation. So what happens next is Kennedy is killed. Every president after that decides to conform to the Masonic military-industrial complex pharmaceutical state agenda and to be held captive and hostage by international financiers, bankers.
As one who has witnessed the horror and the lingering sadness of war, as one who knows that another war could utterly destroy this civilization which has been so slowly and painfully built over thousands of years, I wish I could say tonight that a lasting peace is in sight. Happily, I can say that war has been avoided. Steady progress toward our ultimate goal has been made, but so much remains to be done. As a private citizen, I shall never cease to do what little I can to help the world advance along that road. So in this, my last good night to you as your president, I thank you for the many opportunities you have given me for public service in war and in peace. I trust in that service, you find some things worthy. As for the rest of it, I know you will find ways to improve performance in the future. You and I, my fellow citizens, need to be strong in our faith that all nations under God will reach the goal of peace with justice. May we be ever unswerving in devotion to principle, confident but humble with power, diligent in pursuit of the nation's great goals. To all the peoples of the world, I once more give expression to America's prayerful and continuing aspiration. We pray that peoples of all faiths, all races, all nations may have their great human needs satisfied, that those now denied opportunity shall come to enjoy it to the full, that all who yearn for freedom may experience its spiritual blessings.
So when you listen to what he's saying, he talks about opportunities and freedom. Now, I've been denied my opportunity by people who have philosophies that are incompatible with American values. And what I mean by American values are actual American values, not the values impressed upon us by globalists and conspirators whose secret society started from the very nation we fought against to gain our independence. Communist, Masonic, Illuminati values are not compatible with American values. And that includes atheism, feminism, and forced homosexuality. And controlled opposition, of course.
Those who have freedom will understand also its heavy responsibility. That all who are insensitive to the needs of others will learn charity, and that the sources, scourges of poverty, disease, and ignorance will be made disappear from the earth. And that in the goodness of time, all peoples will come to live together in a peace guaranteed by the binding force of mutual respect and love. Now, on Friday noon, I am to become a private citizen. I am proud to do so. I look forward to it. Thank you, and good night.
All right, so now we go to the next president, Kennedy. And keep in mind, the gay movement, which is controlled, the homosexuality obviously is an abomination, but it's controlled. The feminist movement, which is controlled, there are real women's rights issues, such as, problems with rape and maternity leave and perhaps equal pay, domestic violence. There are issues very specific to women and that affect women disproportionately. However, feminism is an abomination and an outright fucking lie. They are known for their hypocrisy. It is also very divisive, as when you see the blatant hypocrisy of feminism, how they create straw men and avoid the argument more than any other group, one is forced to the conclusion that they must resist it if they have high moral standards. So by default, those who have morals are divided from conformist cowards on the issue of feminism.